Hello, I'm Paul Richard, your host today for the Leverage Podcast, and we have Robert Byrd with us here in
Yeah, I'm in
Springfield today.
Springfield.
Are you in Springfield today, Robert? Good to see you. Welcome to the podcast. And we love featuring businesses in our area and understanding a little bit more about the owners and how they got into the business. So, Robert, give us a little bit of background about you and your
Uh,
business and how you got started
well,
in this whole thing.
background, I'm from Ohio. Joined the military back in '85. I was an aircraft mechanic in the Air Force for about 10 years. So there's some mechanic background. Probably when I was, I don't know, like most kids, 10, 11 years old, growing up around my dad, my uncles, all these people working on cars. I just would follow them and watch what they do and pretty much I tried to imitate and work on vehicles, work on anything I could. Um, I literally, I guess you could say, kind of self-taught myself. Just grab books and read books and tools and when I started driving at 15, 16 years old, I worked on my own cars. I would, you know, help my mom work on her car. Uh, Literally, I enjoy working on vehicles. I enjoy trying to find out what's going on. I try to troubleshoot. Of course, I did that, like I said, in the military on aircraft. I'm I'm getting ready to go back to college at OTC here in Springfield and take a whole bunch more automotive technology courses to add to my business of helping customers out and troubleshoot their vehicles. Uh, since me and you have talked, I have in the past I was a small engine tech, a small engine service at Northern Tool here in Springfield, and I've added small engine service, small engine repair on top of my mobile auto care. And I've just literally 40, you could say 40 plus years, maybe close to 50, like I said, 10, 11 years old, 12 years old. I've been working on cars, working on anything mechanical. I just enjoy it. It's honestly, if there's a problem, I try to find out why something's not working. I love repairing things, refurbishing things, selling. Once I'm done, if somebody needs something, I know it's reliable. I did that recently with a lawnmower. I refurbished, repaired, and a customer needed a mower because theirs was pretty much shot, and I sold them a good mower, and they're happy with it. So it's what I enjoy doing.
I love that, man. I love that. And yeah, recently I've been watching a couple of podcasts, excuse me, and I've discovered, there's a mindset of when we see something that we can fix it. And so my wife sometimes, like our refrigerator just went on the fritz, or at least the freezer was working and the refrigerator wasn't. And, in some regards, she was thinking, well, man, we got to get a new fridge. It's going to be $2,500 or whatever for this same kind. And I go, well, let me watch a few YouTube videos and figure this out. And it turns out it was an
Yeah,
$18
I
fan
was I was getting ready
that
to
had
tell you
gone
that.
out that's on the
uh,
condenser, it's
the
on the,
the
yeah, yeah. It was a little, almost like a computer fan in there
yeah.
that had just died, right? And so yeah, I was so thankful that I could do that. And I went on to GE. They have a thing on the inside, and you just take a QR code and you can go to GE and you can order the part. Well, the part was like $64. And then I said, well, let me put this part number into Amazon. So I took the part number, put it into Amazon. I said, oh yeah, we have that for $18. Same exact one. Everything's the same. And it looked exactly the same, had all the same fittings, all that kind of stuff. And so, it was just, yeah. So those kind of things, and in an appliance repair, which is a great business, you got to charge a minimum of, $100 just to show up. And, so even just replacing that fan probably would have been somewhere north of $250 to have somebody hired to come in. And not that I don't mind hiring people to do things. It's just my fix-it mindset, like yours you're talking about with you, is I want to figure out what's going on. What's the mechanical part of this that I'm missing, and how do I fix this? So I love that. That's worth hiring you just to know that your mind is going after this thing, because you're going to do it right. You're going to find out what the core issue is. You're not going to deal with, symptoms. You're going to get to the core problem. So I love that about just our initial conversation here, Robert. I love that.
Yeah, my Volvo wagon.
So give me the gist of when did you launch your mobile company here? When did you first do your first
honestly, I tried I tried starting this back in 1983. I graduated high school. I was living out here,
No kidding.
trying to go to college in Missouri, and again, I worked on my car. I worked on friends of my sister and brother-in-law's cars. Just basic, simple stuff. They're like, "Hey, something ain't right here," and I would work on them. And then I literally, being around the college at the time, a blast to the past here, BBC Baptist Bible College here in Springfield. Um, I I decided, hey, I'd work on your car. You're in class. You can't leave. You can't take it to a shop. You can't sit and wait. So I would work on these college students' cars in the parking lot. I'd take it to a far back corner of the parking lot. I'd work on the car. I'd get it done. I'd test it. I'd check it out, make sure everything's good. And then I would find them and get their keys back to them and get paid, or meet up and get paid. And so I honestly started this back in 1983. And word of mouth, I was working on all kinds of college kids' cars, people at the church, it just word of mouth spread. And that was 83. So that was a long time ago. I've tried again on and off, literally over the years. 90s, 2000s, and I just ended up going back and working for corporate businesses. And me being a veteran, trying to get to veteran appointments, VA appointments, doctor appointments, and working for corporate, it didn't work. I mean, my time and their time clashed, and honestly, July of 25, so basically almost a year ago, I finally, being a veteran, being 100% disabled, permanent and total, uh, I said I'm going to work for myself. And I launched this again, like I said, probably for about the third or fourth time, trying to be my own boss. And I thank God hit the nail on the head. Being a mobile mechanic, coming to you, you don't have to go to a shop. You don't have to drop it off. I do, whether you're at your house or um, at your business, because I can, while you're at work, I can work on your car in the parking lot where you're working, and I've done that for several customers. Um, but I save you time. I save you money. I save you a possible tow truck. But yeah, so like I said, I've probably been doing this on and off 40 plus years, uh, and now finally 100% full time. Uh, my own boss. I do the mobile car care. I do a handyman home repair business, and I do the small engine repair. So I've just combined a bunch of stuff that I've done over my lifetime and put it all into like a bundle. So I enjoy it a lot. I literally, if I can't figure it out, I'll keep trying, but I've got to figure it out, especially on my own vehicles. So yeah.
That's great. You know, I've noticed something. When I lived in St. Louis, well, I come from the same background as you in some regards. I don't have the military background. I got a business degree from the University of Nebraska. At the same time, I got a 2-year degree in automotive technology. You and I are close to the same age, and did that. And I was working on my car all the time. And then when I got so busy in my business, I couldn't spend the time fixing my car really in a logical way. Didn't make sense. And I would, when I moved to St. Louis, I had a mobile mechanic back then. This would be 2010. And, the guy would come out and, this was like in the middle of the winter. I had an expedition that needed a radiator put in. And so it was freezing cold outside. I'm in there selling real estate in my office, and he's got this little heater that he put on top of a propane tank, and he was warming himself there as he was working out in the parking lot, replacing my my front end. Really, it take several things in addition to the radiator. And so he was doing that, and I'm thinking, I'm making money while he's making money at the same time, which is such a great thing, because I'm best when I'm doing what I'm doing, right? And so you offer that same service. And then now moving to this area, and I live in Branson, and I know a couple of mechanics around the area, and it's interesting to see there's the mechanics that I've ran into. A lot of them are providing towing service and or hauling service of the vehicle in either for free or for a minimum. It's kind of a merging of the two things where, they're delivering the car. They'll take it from their office and bring it in and fix it or whatnot. And then you're going to the car, right? Wherever it's at, and doing that because it's so important for them to stay, in their area of work and do those things. And it's so convenient, right? Especially if you're like a single parent or something, you just don't have time to do that. So I love that you've got this service going on. What is the radius of coverage that you're comfortable with as far as going out to vehicles? How far are you willing to go out?
I think I'm having trouble with my internet for some reason.
Can you hear me anymore, Robert?
Um, I have, I have,
Oh, I would.
I think I've pushed myself about to Branson, maybe almost Arkansas. So I
Oh,
think for me
I
that's
lost him.
about a 50. Yeah, we've lost it.
Let's see. I've got good. We'll see if we can get him back on here momentarily. Let's see. I'll text him on the other line here, see if we can get him to come back. Technology is wonderful when it works, and then this happens sometimes. See if we can get him back on. Can you hear me, Robert? There he is. Well,
You gotta love technology. That's all I can say.
oh man. Well, welcome back.
Yeah.
It's good to have you back in.
Wow.
So
Um,
we were. My question. I don't know if you heard it, but my question was, where are your limits as far as where you'll travel to and that type of thing, or do you have some limits on that?
I tell myself, for me, um, I'm willing to go about 50, 55 mile radius around where I'm at, which honestly covers, I think, right at about Branson. I have gone all the way to the far backside of Mount Vernon for a customer that does, I guess you'd call it like a sod farm, that I never knew existed out there. But so Mount Vernon, Branson, and then I kind of limit. People are asking me if I will go into Arkansas, and I'm kind of like, eh. The gas I got to use to get there, the wear and tear on my vehicle to get there, but maybe 50, 60 miles. And then, I mean, things are always up. If I really have to, I might go a little further, but about 50, 60 mile radius.
That's good. And in my business, whether it's virtual assistants or real estate, people ask me that all the time, and I say, like for example, I'm listing a house in Lebanon, Missouri here coming up, and it's a long way from Branson. Yet these were folks that were referred to me by some dear friends, and I'll go to the ends of the earth and what in that regard to take care of them. So that's really where I'm at, as well as you want to take care of people. I know your heart is to get them taken care of, and unfortunately, if they don't use you, they might get somebody that's not going to treat them fairly. Because let's face it, in your industry, people that don't understand what's going on under the hood or whatever, and they don't want to know, could be sold a bill of goods, right? So there's that whole idea. So they know, love, and trust you to be able to say, you're not going to oversell me on something that I don't need, right? And that's a huge thing in your industry. It is in other industries as well, but I love that. So yeah, I'll come out, and even if you had a surcharge and you said, look, yeah, I'll come to Harrison for you. This will be a kind of a one-off deal. It's going to run me $30 extra in gas to get there. So how about this? I'll add 30 to the bill, and we'll call it good, or something like that. Right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, usually when I get a job, I'm like, hey, are you in Springfield? Where are you at in Springfield? I'll, eventually, if they like the way, I present myself, which I try to present myself as good as possible and trustworthy, which I am. I mean, look me up on Google. 4.8, 5-star rating with everybody so far. Um, I'll try to get the mileage of where I'm going, and I kind of knock it down in like 10-mile increments. If it's 10 miles around me, no problem. Once I start getting outside that 10-mile radius, um, which I know that don't sound like a lot, but honestly, 10 miles, that's quite a bit. And then what they're wanting done, what they're, I'm like, hey, I'll come out, I'll do this, and then I might just bump the price just a little to help me with my gas, to help me with, again, wear and tear on the vehicle. I don't have technically an overhead. I don't have the brick and mortar shop. I don't have that. It's everything is all in my vehicle. If they ask me to pick up parts, which I will, I'll bump up that price just a little. I have worked for several companies here in Springfield, like I said. Don Wessel Oldsmobile, several mechanic shops, and most of those places we will or they will when you need a part for your vehicle. There's a 10%, 15%, 20% bump on the actual price. Even though they have it in stock, they still bump the price up a little. Where me, I don't keep hardly anything in stock. So if I have to run to O'Reilly, AutoZone, Napa, whoever, I will get their approval. I will get the parts that they need specific to their vehicle, and then I'll bump the price up just a little, and then again make sure I take care of them, make sure everything's good, test the vehicle out, and whatever. But yeah, that 50-60 mile radius, that doesn't really bother me. I know that's a lot of windshield time, but I enjoy it. I literally enjoy the drives. I mean, I've been doing a lot of work out in like West Republic and Bodark and stuff like that. I enjoy the drive through the country out here. So it's relaxing. It's peaceful. So I don't mind it.
That's awesome. And yeah, that's something where I see that need, growing out there as far as that goes. And so I'm really glad to meet you and learn about this, because I had a mobile mechanic do something for me in Springfield about 3 years ago. Of course, I don't think you were active at that point and we didn't know each other. Yet at the same time, I knew the value of what you're doing, right? And I knew that was something that was very, very valuable. And so tell us a little bit more about what your typical services that you're seeing that people are asking you to do, and then what are your limits as far as how deeply you would go into a car? You know what I mean? Are you getting, I can't imagine you're going to do an engine replacement or something, because that's not a mobile thing. But where do you see the limits as far as the service level that you can do in a mobile visit?
Me, I kind of stick with that fast service. I like to be in and out. Again, I'm mobile. So oil changes, brake changes, battery service. I have a rather costly, in-depth diagnostic scan tool that can tell me lots and lots of information about your car, reset certain things on your car. So when you've got that check engine light or my vehicle won't start, I can do that. But bulb replacement, headlight bulb replacement, blinker bulb replacements, wiper replacements. I try right now when I do come out and do a service, I try to check all your fluids. I'll top off your fluids as long as I've got everything in my vehicle. So I guess that is one items that I do try to keep in stock is top off your washer fluid, top off your, coolant, stuff like that. So it's just a little nice added on service that I give you. But as for in depth, yeah, definitely I'm not a fan of replacing front end ball joints and linkage and you know anything where I've got to take the vehicle literally apart, because that's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours on one job. And then once you're done, you've got to take it in and get a front end alignment. I'm like, just take that to a shop. Um, I have done some radiator repairs. So when you said radiator that you needed years ago, I have learned I can do them on newer vehicles. You literally almost have to disassemble the entire front of the vehicle. I mean, grill, headlights, bumpers. It's insane. So I will, but I honestly try to avoid half a day jobs. I want to get in and I want to get out. Brake jobs don't take long. Oil jobs definitely do not take long. Battery service, I've done alternators. Um, so a lot of, I've replaced serpentine belts, stuff like that for people who don't understand. So I'm a fast service, get in, get out, maybe a couple hours, but I don't even like to do the couple hour thing. Um, I have done all four brakes on some vehicles, bigger trucks. I try to avoid big vehicles. I try to avoid dualies because taking a set of dualies off of a truck is a lot. So I stick with smaller vehicles like regular sized trucks. And again, quick change, quick service, get in, get out. So it's a case by case basis, I guess you could say, is what I'll do, and I'll ask lots of questions. I'll get as much information from you as possible, and then I'll let you know, and then I'll come up with a price. And if if me and the customer agree on it, then I lock it in, and I'm like, hey, I'll see you there, and I'll take care of you.
That's awesome. Do you are you okay? Let me ask you this. Are you okay with customer supplying parts? Like sometimes I know, like I've done brake jobs in my life before, and I go, I like to use certain Bosch parts that I get through Amazon. Is it okay if somebody said, hey, I realize you can't guarantee or warranty parts if somebody supplies them, obviously, and then say, hey, here's my Bosch discs, and here's the actual pads I want to have put on. Do you mind that if that's the case?
I do not mind that at all. And like you said, if you supply the parts, I'll be like, hey, that saved you money. I'm just charging my labor, my time. Uh, but again, I don't know where you got your parts. I buy stuff off of Amazon. I buy stuff off of Rock Auto, Parts Geek. I buy wherever I can. But if you supply the parts, I'll just say, hey, I'll install these. If I see anything weird, I will let you know and stop. If something looks odd, if something, this brake pad does not match this brake pad, but it's the right side, left side, if something's weird, if something's off, I'll stop and I'll let the customer know. But I have no problem installing their parts. It saves me time. It saves me a trip. And it's literally just my labor instead of parts plus labor, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't mind putting people's parts on for them. It's all good. It's still my time. It's just their parts. So
I love
yeah, I don't
that.
mind that at
And
all.
that's awesome. I only got bit one time on that. Well, I didn't even really get bit on that. I had a alternator go out on my Chevy Cobalt that I had, and I love that little car. It was a great little car until it got smashed up. And so I went out to Amazon at the time, and I bought undercarriage parts for it, and then I bought a remanufactured alternator as well, and I took them up to my mechanic at the time, who has a shop locally here in Branson, and I said, hey, do you mind putting all this stuff in? And he said, of course, I can't warranty that. Well, we put the alternator in, and it was a failed alternator. Actually, the remanufactured one didn't work. Now, it came from one of the local parts stores, and so I said, well, hey, let me grab it. I'll go take it up there because I've got the receipt, right? Took it back. They replaced it. We put another one. He put another one in. It failed again immediately.
Oh yeah, I have a funny feeling I know who you're getting your parts from.
Yeah. And And so finally, the third one, and poor my mechanic charged me 3 install deinstall charges, and that's fine. I guess I got bit in that regard, not by him, but by the parts store. And bottom line is that was something that was the only negative one that I had for the most part of anything I've done before in the past. All of the undercarriage parts, because Chevy undercarriage parts, especially that, was not very good to begin with, and so it was just a matter of getting that. And I talked to my mechanic at the time, and I said, look at this in Gale, and he goes, man, you paid less than I do when I go to buy them, right? And so you have to be understanding of that. They don't always get what I call at the wholesale houses edge of sheet pricing, right? They don't always get the cheapest one, or whatever it is and you don't always want the cheapest one, right? Because that's not, when it comes to things like brake pads and other long wearing items, you're better off buying a better unit and then get more longevity out of it, right? At that
Yeah,
point. So that's what I see.
yeah, exactly. Cheaper is not always best. Bargain deals are not always best. I like I said, I look at AutoZone, I look at O'Reilly, I look at Napa. I try. I haven't a lot other than my own vehicles gone to salvage yards and I've pulled parts off that I know. Um, but Rock Auto, Parts Geek, um, a lot of online. I've bought parts from Amazon for my vehicles, and I like I said I bought an alternator for my Volvo wagon, which is basically my work vehicle. I'm in the process of trying to find a bigger work vehicle to carry more stuff and be more supplied on things. I honestly, I'm trying to find a used ambulance is what I want because of all the lockable boxes and online generators and stuff like that. But I bought that alternator. O'Reilly wanted like I swear to God, I think by the time it would have been done because of core charge, like maybe almost $300 for this alternator because I guess because it's European. And I'm like, I don't have $300. I found the exact match, and I did lots of research, but the exact match on Amazon, and I bought that alternator for like I think less than 100 with shipping or whatever because I don't have Amazon Prime, but with shipping less than $100. I took mine off. I put it on. Yeah, it took me a while. There's not a lot of room in them Volvos in the front engines, but I did it, and I literally saved myself probably $400 or $500 because buying the part, taking it to a mechanic, um, it would have cost a lot
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
wasn't fun, but I did it, and my vehicle runs perfectly fine, and I'm golden. So again, if I've got a problem, I love trying to figure it out, and I will. Some people don't understand. If I give them a quote, that's where it's hard for me to say, hey, I charge this much to come out, and then after this, like first hour and a half, I'm this much. If I can get it fixed in that first hour, hour and a half, it's this much. If it goes past that and I really have to dig in, then it starts going into a different price range. And some people are good with that, and some people are not. And I got burned on a job. A customer's like, well, no, I refuse to do that. And I was on a job for about 2.5 hours plus the drive time. So technically about 3.5 hours with drive and actual job. And I got burned. And that taught me a lesson. And so now I'm going to be very clear, transparent, upfront. It's this much to come out, diagnose it, dig in, find it, hopefully fix it. And then if it goes past this time, it's going to be this much more additional, per hour or whatever. And if you're good, then you've got me and I'm there and I'll take care of you. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a high trust thing, like you said. They have to know that you're not going to try and just waste time
No,
and and spend extra time because you want to get out of there. You don't want to charge
I,
them another hour if you
I
don't
want
have
to,
to.
yeah, I want to get in, get out because I've got a possible other job I can go do. Again, I do the mobile mechanic, I do home repair handyman, and I do small engine. And, I've done lots at this time of year, I've done lots of lawnmowers right now. The other day I did a 1973 Buick LeSabre. So I bounce all over, and I've got to go check out a mower, and then I've got to go check out a car. So again, it just bounces back and forth. And if I can get in and out, make the money, and then go to the next job, I keep taking care of, literally keep taking care of business.
Was that 73 Buick a 454 barrel?
Yes, it is a 455.
455 four barrel. I had a brown,
Oh,
dark
it was
brown.
gorgeous.
That was my first car. Was a 1973 Buick LeSabre. It was dark brown, and it had the 455 four barrel. And
Yeah,
back then, of course, gas was 35 cents a gallon when I got it. So it seemed like a lot then, right? But, but you hit the gas and you just watch the gas gauge go like this,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This was a nice dark metallic blue interior, crushed blue seats. I mean, it was nice. This guy
Hmm.
said he's owned it for probably half of his life.
Wow.
And he was maybe in his 40s. Um, he's backed off. It's only got 82,424 original miles on a 73.
Wow.
So
Wow.
he has slowed down. But I went out, looked at it the other day. It had some problems. I found the problems, thank God, and got him going again, and he's happy. But I've got my 1973 Plymouth Scamp with a 318 in it that I'm working on and trying to get it back on the road. But I've got my Volvo wagon and I've got a Crown Vic Police Interceptor out of Webb City, Missouri. So I kind of all over the board with vehicles, but thank goodness I have I guess a brain inquisitive whatever. I want to find out what's going on. So and thank God, usually most of the time I can figure it out. So I'm I'm thankful for that.
That's awesome. And can you talk a little bit about what rate expectations would be? Can you kind of give us an idea? Let's say, are you doing a lot of oil changes, by the way? Or is that a big thing for you?
I I have done quite a few. Again, if the customer, I'll offer them like, hey, do you have a particular oil? Do you have a particular filter? Whatever. If you want to pick up your parts, it's just my labor. If you want me to pick up parts, it's parts plus labor. I am saving you time. I am saving you trouble. I'm saving you having to leave work. So I will find out what their vehicle is. I will find out what oil and oil filter they need, and then I pick that up. I find out, like, am I coming to your house? Am I coming to your work? Because again, I've done it at both, and people love it that they get their oil changed while they're at work. They don't have to leave work and do that. So time, convenience, all of that. And normally, I take the oil, I take the parts, And yeah, I'm not Jiffy Lube. I'm not, the 5-minute lube oil change guy that you can drive up and do it. So again, parts plus labor, time, travel, that kind of stuff. I try to keep an oil change pretty much level. And so if oil and filter cost, 30, $40 for what I get, then I might charge like 55, 60, $65. So an oil change for $100. Um, a lot of people's like, yeah, I'm there, I'll do it. And people have done it and they're happy because I'm coming to them and doing it instead of them having to go out, drop their vehicle off, or go out and sit in a waiting room for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So yeah, so parts plus labor, I've done quite a few oil jobs. Brakes, I've done quite a few brake jobs. Parts plus labor, I try to stick with the rule of like what a brick and mortar shop would cost, and then I come under that. A lot of people, they're saying they charge 2 to 250 per axle to put the brakes on. And then I might honestly be in that same range or a little less. Uh, Depending on the age of the vehicle, a lot of stuff is rusted and seized and doesn't want to come apart. The calipers don't want to release, so I have to be careful so I don't tear something up. But I look at everything from my past. I do research, um, and I literally try to be as fair as possible. Um, I am providing a service. I am providing convenience. Um, Literally, you sit on your couch and watch TV while I do the work on your vehicle. I think that's a pretty fair trade. That I've done jobs in the wintertime and it was not fun. It was cold, but you didn't have to leave your house. You didn't have to leave your job. And again, so far, everybody that I've done work for has been very happy. I had one customer that wasn't happy. I don't know why, but I'm still, a 5-star rating with a 4.8. But I think one out of I think I'm close to like 40 ratings right now. So 1 out of 40 was less than a 5, but uh, everybody's happy with what I do, and I'm not trying to become a millionaire. I just want to do something I enjoy, give you a fair price. Of course, I tell you the price if I can. If I know it's quick and simple, like brakes, that's it. But I will put a little thing in there saying, hey, if this happens, this might be a little more. If this happens, we might have this. And they're okay with that. But if it's straightforward, like literally like an oil change, not a lot can happen. But if it's straightforward, I give you a straight price. We agree on it, and I take care of you. So it's uh, I don't want to rip anybody off. I don't want them to go, oh my gosh, that's insane. But again, I'm a convenience, I'm a service, I'm taking care of something for you that you don't have to go out and do. So I think I'm pretty fair. I think I'm pretty reasonable. Uh, I do not do a job for $20 and a 6 pack of beer. I don't do that. Like some of these guys, hey, I need something done on my car. Well, I'll do it, and they jump on it, and I'll do it for $20 and whatever. I can't do that. I can't live on that kind of money. I can't say what kind of service and how reliable what they do for that price, but it's my reputation. It's my business, and I'll be as reasonable, cost effective as possible. So
Very good. Well, I think people have got a great idea of what you do, how far you'll go, what your range of services are from our podcast here. And I'm hoping this will bring you in a new wave of business once we get this published. What is the best way to get a hold of you? Have you set up a website? You want to do cell phone?
I
What's best for you?
I am on Facebook. I do have a business page on Facebook called Byrd Enterprises that
Okay.
basically encompasses the mobile car care mechanic, the home repair handyman, and the small engine. I mean, something funny, I'll put a plug in here. I also like to cold smoke cheeses and food, so I might add that because I love the barbecue. But that's Bird Enterprises on Facebook. I also have my Facebook page, so I bounce between the two, which is literally just me, Robert Byrd. Um, I am on Google under Google Review, which is Bird's Mobile Car Care and Handyman. So you can find me through there and verify that what I say is true with my Google reviews. I have recently added a website that a friend of mine helped me get set up. It is bigbirdenterprises.com, and you can go in there. You can see everything that I do, everything about me, the veteran side of me, the services I offer, and you can go in and schedule an appointment with me if you see what you like. But I've got my phone number plastered all over. You can contact me directly, text me. You can go through my Facebook pages. You can go anywhere. Find me, text me, message me, and say, hey, I found you and I need this done. And then we'll start talking and I'll get you set up as fast as possible. So
That's
I've
awesome.
got lots and
That's
lots
awesome.
of ways of getting myself out there and making sure that I can help somebody out. I am very, I guess, I'll take care of anybody, but if you're a veteran, if you're an EMT, paramedic, first responder, because I was military, I was a cop, and I was a firefighter, and now mechanic. So military, first responder, anything like that, I'll probably jump on that if you let me know you're one of those, and that, I guess you could say, that has my heart more than anything, especially older veterans or anything like that that can't do work like this. I'm there, and I hope I can help you out. So that's something that's really close to me is any of those people, but I'll help anybody.
Fantastic. All right. Well, Robert, this has been fun to get to know you better, learn a little bit more about your business, and we will look forward to seeing you soon in one of our networking meetings coming up. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Is there somewhere eventually I can maybe listen to this and have friends listen to this?